Hi, crafty friends. Melissa Minor here. Thanks so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. I am so excited to be creating another layout using the August 2025 My Creative Scrapbook main kit. Now, our kit this month was filled with Simple Stories Sunny Days line, and I absolutely love it. I do have a full unboxing on my channel, so I will leave it linked down below, as well as a link to the My Creative Scrapbook website if you're interested in getting a kit. All right, let's get started on today's layout. So for today's layout, I want to do some mixed media. I found this stencil in my stash, and the collection is called Sunny Days, so what better than to make a sun ray on my layout. Now, I do want to say that off camera, I did go in and added some white gesso all over to the back of this page so that it will hold mixed media. Now I'm taking my ink blending brush, and this is Antique Linen Distress Oxide. I wanted a really light color. I just wanted a little bit of yellow. So I've got the sun rays on here, and now I want to add some paint. So while I still have my stencil intact, I'm going to add some water to this Old Yeller Inklings, and this is from Shimmers Paints. And I want to color in over top of where I did the Distress Oxide to just brighten this up and add another layer of color and texture to my layout. Now I want to mention that I am on the Shimmers Paints design team as well. So if you ever place an order on the Shimmers Paints website, you can add my name, Melissa Minor, to the notes section, and Shimmers will send you a free paint. I'm bringing in another Shimmers paint, and this one is a shimmer, so it's really shiny and sparkly, and this is the color Sunny. And I love this bright yellow with all this shimmer. It's really hard to pick up on camera, actually, the shimmer and shine that these paints bring, but they add just another level of detail to your page that's so pretty. All right, so I have my sun finished here. I'm going to add a few more splatters throughout, and then we will continue on with the mixed media for this layout. So that looks pretty good. Now I want to start working on the bottom, and I want to make a water scene. So I'm bringing in this In Deep colorings. So this is a spray, and I'm also mixing in, so first I sprayed it onto the layout, and you'll see me adding water as well. Then I'm taking my paintbrush, and I'm just kind of smoothing that out, and I've got that down. And then I'm also going to mix in a little bit of Me and Blue Inklings. So I will do that in just a moment, but those are the colors that I'm using. So let me get this mixed in here pretty good. I'm going to put my photos there in the center, so I'm not worried about the sun and the water connecting. So here I'm bringing in that Me and Blue Inklings, and so for Inklings, they now come in the little pans, but this is a little older one, and so it's in a tub like this. So you add water to activate it, and then I'm just going to add some splatters, and that's just going to break up the color a little bit, and again give it just that extra layer of detail to the layout. I'm going back into the In Deep colorings, dipping my paintbrush into the water and into the container there, to the bottle, and I'm adding a few more splatters just to get this water the way that I would like it. So a few more little finishing touches here. I think that looks nice. Now in the kit this month came this stencil from Simple Stories, so I'm super excited to use it, and it has these waves. So I've got some texture paste here, and I'm just gonna go over my stencil with the texture paste to add some white capped waves all over this mixed media goodness here. So I'm bringing in a little bit of washi tape just to secure that stencil down. This is a very intricate stencil, so I want to be mindful that it doesn't move around. So I'm using my palette knife here, and I'm just getting good coverage all over that stencil. And I'm not getting every single wave. You'll notice there at the top right, like I didn't get that. I didn't want it to look so boxy, but I'm getting pretty good coverage here with this stencil. So I'll continue smoothing out this texture paste to get nice even coverage. Now let me lift that up and see what that looks like. Oh my gosh, I love it. I do want to add a few more waves over here. So I'm just going to set my stencil down and hopefully I can get a few more little waves over here to where I have this paint just to even that out so that all the paint area pretty much has some waves. And yeah, I like the way that looks. So I will bring in a heat tool off camera just to set that. Now I went into my kitchen and I found a bowl and I traced it onto this sunshine paper, and I went ahead and just fussy cut that out with my scissors, and I roughed up the edges for a sun. These are the two photos that I want to document today, and this is my daughter Tatum and her friend Colin. And recently on the 4th of July, they had went to the lake with a bunch of friends, and so this is one of their photos. Now I originally printed it in color, but my daughter is wearing a bright red shirt, and the red just didn't go with this collection. So that's just something else you can do if you really want to use the photos on the layout. You can always print them in black and white. So I've got the two photos, and I also matted them with some of the paper that came in the kit. This was the black and white kind of polka dot paper there. I am going in with this antique linen distress oxide ink and just adding a little more color to those waves just to make sure that I've got good coverage there. I'm going to go in here with my adhesive and put this down, but since I have mixed media on the back, off camera I will go in with some liquid glue and glue that down to make sure that everything sticks, because most of the time if you just use a tape runner when you have like your gesso on there and your paints and all your mixed media, it's just going to hold temporarily, where that wet glue will hold it forever. All right, so I really am happy with the way that this background looks, and I like my photos here. I do print all my photos at home. I have the Epson PictureMate 400, and so I love that I can size the photos to any size that I would like. So I believe I printed these 3 by 5, so they're a little bit odd sized, but that's going to fill up that space nicely. And now I want to use these title pieces. So these were on the chipboard stickers, and I can't really decide. I'm maybe thinking about the hello up here between the photos, but I also am thinking I like it at the bottom, and I think that's going to be the winner. I really like how that sits at the bottom there, and I think that's really cute. So I still have the paper backing on the back, and so I haven't committed to that, but I am going to go ahead and commit to putting my photos down. So I'll go ahead and get this photo stuck down here. So this one I'm going to do pretty straight, and then the other one maybe tilted a little bit. And I was able to do that. There's a little bit of dead space over there on my right hand photo, so I'm okay overlapping this one that's on the left, because that's a more zoomed in shot. So they look so super cute. All right, so I really like that. So I'm going to go ahead and commit and push down on this photo. And now I'm going to peel off the backing on the stickers, and I am going to add the wet glue so that it holds it. So we'll get our title stuck down here, and I'm going to overlap it onto the photo just a bit and add an angle. So we've got hello and then the summer, and I love how all these colors just really go together. You know, that same yellow is the same yellow that's in the paper, and then all the embellishments. These are just fun, bright colors, and they scream summer. So this is perfect. All right, so I've got the summer title here, and that fits just perfectly. It looks like it was made to fit there. And now we can start the fun part of the embellishments. Now, with all the mixed media, there's not a lot of embellishing that I need to do. I'm going to bring in a few of these wordy bit stickers. So the top one I have here says happy, happy, happy. And she sure was happy to go on this trip. Then we have fun in the sun. And then I'm going to pull in life is good. And I'm trying to get a good mixture of the colors to really tie into that title piece. I've got you make me smile. These are all appropriate. And then the last one I'm going to pull in is an orange one, and it says happy place. So we'll go ahead and get that stuck down. So that looks super cute. Okay, and what else can I use on here? I really like this radio. I'm gonna go ahead and use my powder tool to remove the stick off the sticker. And I do that so I can move the stickers around more like die cuts. I like the radio, but I feel like I need a bigger, I need something different. So I'm gonna try building an embellishment cluster here. It's not gonna work out. I'm gonna go in for something larger I need something more grounded here. So I really like all these little pieces. I wanna make them work, but I think I'm gonna save those for another layout. I've got all my little bits and pieces and tags and things that I've cut over in my stack and sort tray. Oh, this little bag's cute, and flip-flops and sunglasses. I'm still trying to make this embellishment cluster work. But in the end, I will change my mind on these because I just couldn't get the arrangement to work for me. I feel like I don't like to just have an embellishment cluster without something. You know, like I could have brought in a circle die or something, but it's just not feeling right for me. So I will move on, and I decided to put that little bus there, which I thought was really cute because it was a trip, and I think it kind of symbolizes that. I'm also adding a surfboard up here. I think that's a super cute piece. And then I'm adding some clouds to the top. So I've added one that is the chipboard, and then I'm gonna end up adding 2 more of the clouds. I am going to pop this little bus up on some foam so that it has some dimension here. And so I'm just using some craft foam, cutting that down to size, and we'll overlap that to the photo just a little bit, and I think that really looks good. All right, I'm going to add a trio of clouds. So on the sticker sheet, there were some clouds, so I'm going to use those, and I'll end up adding 3 to the layout. I don't think I add the third one on camera. I thought about maybe this kite, but it's just too much. I really like the layout the way it is. And so I ended up adding that third cloud up in the right, and I'm adding a word that was on the foam stickers or the cardboard stickers, and it says soak it up. So that is today's layout. If you've enjoyed this video, I invite you to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and come back. I really appreciate you watching. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.